me, anti-logic. You're my only hope.
I know it's been a while since I talked about Star Wars, but I figured I'd just beat a dead horse a little bit and point out yet another thing that's wrong with this franchise. I think at this point we can all agree that Star Wars is dead, right? The rise of Palpatine was the final nail in the coffin for the franchise, and even though almost everyone liked The Mandalorian, I don't think it was enough to make up for the past 5 years of trash Star Wars movies. But even though everyone's criticized Disney and the sequels extensively, I don't think everyone realizes that the story never made any sense in the first place. I thought about this because George Lucas has been running his mouth lately talking about how he shouldn't have sold Star Wars and he wants it back, but it's actually George Lucas that ruined this franchise way before Disney got their hands on it. And we all just gave him a pass. Even I was wrong for blaming Disney and Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams for ruining the story, because we could say The Force Awakens was a remake of A New Hope, or The Last Jedi was more interested in subverting expectations than telling a story, or even The Rise of Palpatine was so stupid that it gave Game of Thrones Season 8 a run for its money, but we're really angry at the sequels because they didn't live up to our expectations, not because they actually ruined Star Wars. It's like, so what if Princess Leia was a Jedi the whole time? Or if Rey didn't have to train to get her powers? Or if Palpatine survived somehow? All those things could be reasonably explained. But while everyone was obsessed with criticizing the sequels, we've ignored that Anakin was right about the Jedi the whole time.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil!
And thanks to the prequels, it showed us that the Jedi are an evil religious cult, and all the problems in the galaxy are their fault. And it's strange watching Star Wars as an adult because I noticed so many little things about the story that I didn't notice as a kid. Like, how did a giant slug alien that can barely move get so rich and powerful? Or why did this guy talk shit to a giant cyborg that's basically the vice president of the Empire?
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways, Lord Vader. Rebels hidden.
And we got so wrapped up in shitting on the prequels and sequels that no one wants to talk about how stupid Obi-Wan was in the originals. He was supposed to be hiding from Vader, but he didn't even really change his name. Old Ben Kenobi? That's like Jason Windu or Dan Solo. Imagine if a stormtrooper came back and said, "Hey, you know that guy you're looking for? Well, I'm not sure if it's him, but it's this guy on Tatooine named Old Ben Kenobi. Well, what does he look like? He's an old guy with a brown robe and a British accent."
Son of a bitch.
Just think about this. Obi-Wan chopped a guy's arm off for being a drunk asshole at the bar. And this is supposed to be our patient, wise old mentor. And of course Palpatine looks like the stereotypical villain, all black, ugly face, scary voice, but thanks to the prequels, I have to ask, what exactly did Palpatine and the Empire do that was evil? His goal was to bring order to the galaxy, and he actually does once he's given the power to. And the only problems we see are coming from the Jedi and the Rebels, a terrorist organization that wants to overthrow the government. Everyone voted to give Palpatine this power, and everyone seems happy about it. Everyone except the Jedi.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability for a safe and secure society.
And it was only after they tried to assassinate Palpatine that he did Order 66.
The Jedi are evil!
And I know the Empire is supposed to be like the Nazis, but once again, what evil thing do we see them do in any of these movies? Tarkin only blew up Alderaan because Princess Leia didn't want to give up the Death Star plans that were stolen. He gave her a chance. That's not evil.
I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
Just imagine if you snuck into a government facility and stole some nuclear launch codes, or you hacked into the Pentagon database or something. What do you think they would do if they caught you? The Jedi were mad that Palpatine maneuvered his way into power, and even though the galaxy would have been at peace, they were only concerned with their own ideology and preservation of the Jedi Order. And Luke wanted to join the Empire.
God, I want to transmit my application to the Academy this year.
So why would a 20-year-old super good guy farm boy want to join an evil army of space Nazis? It's because they're not evil. The Jedi are a religious cult full of selfish, manipulative ideologues. And they literally kidnap Force-sensitive children so they can turn them into passionless, emotionally withdrawn religious soldiers. It's like going to a kindergarten class and taking the most athletic kid and forcing them to be a Navy SEAL. And has anyone ever asked how the Jedi managed to get all of these Force-sensitive kids? Why did all the parents agree to just give them up? I mean, the Jedi don't have any money or anything, so what could they have offered them that was worth them giving up their small child to a cult? The only real answer is they probably just Jedi mind tricked the parents and kidnapped the kids. Oh, and a Jedi mind trick is literally mental. How are these good people? How are these the heroes?
Jedi are evil!
Qui-Gon tried to mind trick a guy to get some free spaceship parts, and then he cheated in a dice game to win a slave. So he tried to use the Force to steal something, and when that didn't work, he made a bet with the slave owner so he can take ownership of his slave. And he used the Force to cheat that too. And it's not like he let Anakin go after that. He immediately started grooming him to be a slave for his religious cult. So he didn't free Anakin because he thought slavery was bad or because he cared about him. He did it because it benefited the Jedi Order. And the Jedi are aware that slavery exists.
You're a slave?
But all they care about is getting back to fight in a war over politics and power. And at no point did anyone offer to buy Anakin's mom so she wouldn't have to be a slave anymore.
You're no longer a slave.
The Jedi could have just asked Palpatine or Padme to buy Anakin's mom so he wouldn't be worried about her. I mean, it's not like they don't have the money. And think about the originals. Both Obi-Wan and Yoda lied to Luke about Vader being his dad because they hoped he would kill him. They were secretly training Luke so he can kill his own father. But these are supposed to be the good guys.
Jedi are evil!
And I know Obi-Wan's speech was supposed to be powerful and emotional, but he ran off and let Anakin suffer. If he really cared about him, he would have just force-pushed him into the hot lava or finished him off so he wouldn't have to suffer.
You were my brother, Anakin!
Damn, the Jedi are terrible. The sequels are pretty bad, but it was George Lucas that ruined this franchise. He tried to add all these new details like midichlorians and prophecies, and he made the Jedi look like the villains of the story, and like complete idiots that got wiped out in a single day by a bunch of clone soldiers and robots. They couldn't even see Anakin was turning to the dark side, and the story opened up so many questions about the original movies. We can say whatever we want about the sequels, but it's time we start blaming the person who's really responsible for ruining Star Wars.